players like CMC on my team, I can't lose.
This is a safe place for tough love.
Digging into the data.
3 pancakes. Hold the syrup.
Who's gonna win?
I am.
Oh!
I hope you're hungry, guys. It's breakfast time. Guys, welcome to the show. This is a roadside edition. We're getting scrappy this week and recording this on the side of a highway because we know it's important to get this out quick, get the information to you so that you're set up for success. And we are so happy that you are listening, that you are taking the time to learn and to grow as both a fantasy player and a person.
Before we get to the fun stuff, we do have some league notes.
The first note is I'd like some of you to go in and correct your names. There's a couple names, team names that are incorrect and outdated. You were all assigned a name at the draft selection day, and I'd like for those to be reflected on the teams, or I will have to go and do that myself as the owner of the league. Jeff, you got anything else?
Nope, you said it well. I'm not going to refer to Braden's team as Cook, Line, and Sinker, okay? He doesn't even have Cook, so please, everyone, not just Braden, change your name. Thank you.
Also, I just want to reiterate, the 6th playoff spot goes to the team with the highest total season points that is not in the playoffs. So it's not best record, it's most total points for that last playoff spot. And this year, there will be no bye week in the loser bracket. We tried it out last year. It went great, actually. But this year, just to simplify things, we're going to be just running with the sleeper setup. So the second week of the playoffs, we will have the loser final, the pancake final, and then the third week will be the winner final.
Love it. Is that it for league notes, Jer?
That's it for league notes.
Great. Guys, like every week, there are injuries, and I would be remiss not to mention them. You guys need to know who on your team is injured so you can adjust your teams accordingly. First, Kittle. He's on IR. Hamstring injury, Davis' team. It's a big blow. Bowers, another tight end, left knee injured. He's day-to-day. He's on Phillips' team. That will be a really interesting watch. That's an important key to Phillips' team. A third tight end on my team, Evan Ingram. Calf injury. He left halfway through the game, which really sucked and screwed me over for the week. So that's a dumb on him.
Jeff, if you're relying on Evan Ingram, then you're doing something wrong.
And don't worry, I was quick to drop him at the waiver wire this week. I'm never going to see his stupid face again.
Good call, Jeff.
Drake London, shoulder sprain. This is on Jer's team. Day-to-day, but will that affect him this next week? We're going to have to find out. Mm-hmm. And lastly, Xavier Worthy. He, a bit of an unfortunate circumstance. He didn't really keep his eyes open when he was running on the field. Classic mistake. And he ran right into his own teammate and dislocated his shoulder.
I think there's a little bit more to that.
What do you mean?
Some of my sources are saying there's a little bit of conflict within the team. Worthy was talking shit
smack
to Kelsey and saying something about his girl, and Kelsey's not someone to back down. He's a strong player and a strong person, and he's going to make it right, and he did on the field, and it's unfortunate to see it, but something to watch, something to pay attention to for sure. And both the injuries and like we said last year, it's the personal side of it. It's the personal player life stuff that actually sometimes we see it on the field more clearly than ever, and that's what we saw this week.
Sometimes it's just more important to look at the personal life, and that's something that obviously Michael and Crystal just overlooked in their draft process. They were not taking into consideration the big mouth on Worthy and the and what kind of trouble that can get him into.
Yeah.
Big oversight there, and ultimately they lost the week because of it. Spoiler alert.
If you're not following on Snapchat every single one of the players on your team, you're not doing it right. That's just make it clear.
Yep. That's great insight, Jer. Love that. Now, guys, it's time for the match breakdown. Every week, Jer and I will review the matchups of that week, and we break it down. Who would have thought? Jer, I'm going to start with my team.
Okay.
It was a bitter loss for me. I was up against Eggs and Bacon. And just, again, I'm not going to be calling it Eggs and Bacon anymore because that name needs to be changed. It's outdated, like you said.
It would be the Vet.
The Champ versus the Vet. And I'm going to scratch that out and the Vet. Perfect.
Yeah.
So it was a tough loss. I had some players play great. Defense, kicker, always a standout on my team, on my squad.
That's always been a strength of yours.
It is. And Christian McCaffrey. I knew he would be okay. I wasn't worried one bit. People were like, oh, it's just going to be the same thing again. He's going to be injured for the year. No. He comes out with 23 frickin' points. But my running back and wide receivers just underperformed. So, yeah. And then just the Vets team, Puka Nacua, he left the game mid-game because he got a cut above his eye. And
Brain bleed.
They're checking for a concussion. Yeah, exactly.
It was a brain bleed through the eye.
And, God, I wish it was a concussion, or at least they kept him off the field because what he did afterwards on the field was just terrorizing me. And obviously they're not taking player safety very seriously. So NFL, do your job and sit those players when they get that brain bleed through the eye, like Jer said.
He's not a blue tent kind of guy. He gets out of there as quick as he can, back on the field.
Yeah.
And so, sorry you had to experience facing Puka Nacua. It's a scary thing.
Yeah. I just wish the league would do better, and hopefully it does moving forward.
Next match, I've got myself, the host versus the gambler, Cam. And I got two big takeaways from this matchup. I'm coming at it from the perspective of how can I teach the league through this. And the first point is learning the leash. Okay? You need to assess your team and learn the leash, how much leash you give each player when it comes to start-sit decisions. I know I had Drake May in my QB spot. I had Diggs in there as well, and I thought that'd be a really cheeky little stack. But May was on a short leash, and the dog bit me in the hand. He didn't perform, not to the level I was expecting, and so you can expect there's going to be changes week 2. He had a short leash, and now he's got no leash. So you guys need to look through your lineups, check the leash, learn the leash, and make quick decisions on adjusting your start sets when you need to. The second point is pace the points. Pace the points. I heard, there was some people mentioning, hey, maybe I didn't deserve a win. I didn't have enough points.
You had 94 points.
Yeah, I had.
And you won.
And I won. Pacing the points. We know time and time again, when you blow out a team with 150 points and you only needed 94, you just wasted total points on the year. We each have a set amount of points that we're going to be able to put up every year, and if you don't pace it week to week, you're doomed, okay? I was pacing the points. I had, I always had control through the week. I had a chokehold on Cam. It was a slow but steady choke, and I, in the end, finished him off, and it did hurt me more than it hurt him. I'll say that. I love Cam, but I needed to win, and I did win, and I'm going to continue to win. As far as Cam's team, I think he also is pacing himself season long. I'm looking big picture. I think this was a calculated decision for him to pace some of his players as well, particularly Dak Prescott. Because I think this was a strategic move for Cam to get number 1 in the waiver wire. And to be able to get Fields on his team, we saw that pickup, and as soon as I saw him pick up Fields, I knew, okay, putting A and B together and C and C, he needed Fields on his team.
C and D.
C and D. You're right. CD. CD. So Fields is a perfect fill-in for Dak. He's going to have to adjust that really quick. So, my tip of the hat to Cam, I wouldn't say he let me beat him, but I beat him. So that's what matters. So next week, I'm up against the Bear. And I'll see if I can continue my winning ways. I'll do my best to avoid a Revenant-style fight. We'll see if I can do that. But, I'm happy with my performance, and I hope that everybody can learn from that.
Thanks, Jer. The next match that we're going to break down is between not Rocks in a Pouch, because that is outdated, and it's not Sip Safety, that is outdated. So I'm just going to be saying David and the siblings. Okay? Mm-hmm. Siblings needs to be adjusted, but... So, David won this week. 107 points to the siblings' 92. A pretty weak performance from David, even though he won. His wide receivers, disappointing, except for Myers. I feel like Myers really saved David's ass. 8 receptions, near 100 yards, 17 points. And you may think, well, 17 points is not, incredible. No, it's not, and that's why David has 107 points, not, 137 points, right?
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield did great, but the real story is more on the other side. Like we said, Xavier Worthy, he's out on the first play, and now that you mentioned Kelsey, it's no wonder Kelsey had his eyes on him. The first play of the game, make no mistake.
There was intention behind that route.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a route to get the ball. It was a route to finish someone.
To get the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, and the quarterback, Bo Nix. My mistake there. 8 points. He had 2 interceptions, a fumble lost, only 1 touchdown. That is sad. Bo Nix was highly touted this year. Is this a fluke week, or is this the new normal?
Have they dropped Nix yet? He's got to be a drop candidate.
Let me just see
their updated roster.
No drop.
Okay, all right, that's bold.
No drop.
We talk about leashes. I'd put one on Bo.
Yep. The one shining spot on their team, Bijan Robinson, number 2 pick overall, and that was a right pick. 24.5 points, and he's just making it look easy when he's on the field. We'll see how they bounce back this next week. I'm sure they're expecting more from Jonathan Taylor and Ladd McConkey. They just had a middling, 12, 13 points. So, we'll have to see how that shakes up.
Okay. Next up, we have Philip, a.k.a. The Rook, versus Jeff K., the Bear. It was a good match. Philip kind of got caught with his pants down in the woods, and the Bear snuck up on him and finished him. So that's tough. But I will say, Phil, you had a solid performance still, despite that. The first takeaway point for you, Phil, know your surroundings. Number 1 rule of taking a shit in the woods, you got to scan for the bear before you drop your pants. Number 2, don't overreact, Phil. Don't overreact, but more importantly, don't underreact.
Yep.
You need to act.
Accurately act.
Perfectly act. Do it just right in the middle. You got to look at your lineup. You got to be proud of some of those guys, and then a couple of them you got to think, okay, what am I going to do different next week? I will say, be encouraged. You got the darling draft pick, Javonte Williams, when everyone else had cast him aside and said, I don't need him in the 6th round. I don't need him in the 7th round. What round did he get taken in, Jeff? You mind pulling that up for me? Javante. I don't know where Phil took him, but it was a perfect spot. It was a perfect value, and you've got Arsenal for week 2. So good on you, Philip. You're doing great.
He picked up Javante Williams in the 11th round.
11th.
Yeah.
That's just like, you look like a genius, Philip. I want to tip my hat to you on the draft. You lost your week, but hold steady, and I know you've got good things coming your way. As far as Jeff K in this one, that was a masterclass on lineup setting. You look at the way he put together that team. He had his guys ready to go, and they executed, and that's what it's all about when it comes to managing a team. Jeff K's done it before. He's been in tough situations. He's been in the toughest situation. Think of the finals last week and
the lower finals.
Yes, the lower finals, Pancake finals, and Jeff, he knows how to win when he needs a win. And this week, he showed us what that looks like. Looking at some of his players here, Aaron Jones, I love the targets he got this week. 3 catches in a full PPR league. That's money right there. It's a great pick, Jeff K. And then A.J. Brown. That was the only kind of stinker on the team. So we'll see if he bounces back. I think that's going to be a tough start-sit this week. And given the size of our benches, he could be a drop candidate next week. So something to start thinking about. Emotionally getting ready to drop a player like that is tough, but something to prepare for you, Jeff.
And I know maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but I do want to do a bit of a small promo for a new segment we're going to be doing next week. What's the name? The overreaction segment.
Yep.
Where we accurately tell you what you should do, and we know it's not an overreaction. And so we might have comments about A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
And about other key players, darling players that people don't want to let go of, but maybe we say, now's the time.
Yeah.
React, act, adapt, apt.
There we go.
Okay, last matchup of the week. This one was a barn burner, a nail biter, until the very end. This is between the shoe-in, Braden, and the Prophet. This was 2 guys throwing haymakers at each other with the likes of Josh Allen, Derrick Henry,
Woof,
Jefferson, Dobbins, Sutton. We're talking big names, big players, big points. It was very close. The Sunday night game, the Ravens versus the Bills, that was a key part in how this week turned out. Josh Allen balled the frick out with nearly 39 points.
Wow.
But he was up against Derrick Henry, who was putting up equally scary numbers, 30 points. But what happened was in the last 4 or 5 minutes of that game, there was a sweep of about a swing of about 15 points in this matchup between the shoe-in and the Prophet. Derrick Henry fumbles. That's lost points for the Prophet. That's more yards, more touchdowns for Allen. And the Prophet had the Ravens defense, who ended the week with -2 points. And so where it looked the Prophet was going to win, suddenly flipped on its head.
Wow.
However, so then all of the Prophet's players, they've all played, but he was still ahead by 5 points. The shoe-in, Braden, had 1 player left to get at least 5 points for that Monday night game.
Who was it? Tell me.
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. Until you start watching the game. And you're like, wait, J.J. McCarthy with the WTF? Going into the fourth quarter, Justin Jefferson had 1 reception for 8 yards, 1.8 points. Into the fourth quarter, Braden was sweating. He told me that. And, but thankfully, things turned around for Braden. Justin Jefferson got a touchdown. That's the week. It's over.
Wow.
It was a thrilling week for these guys. What's even funnier is their benches also just were on fire. So these 2 guys, their teams are great, and whoever's up against them next week, be afraid.
Okay, well, that concludes our match breakdowns. What do we got next, Jeff?
Next,
Match of the week? Should we do our Mo?
we can do match of the week or the pancake meter.
Let's do pancake meter.
Yeah, I think let's do pancake meter. We're going to do it like this. The standings in Sleeper, we're going to go from first to last. And then for each team, we'll assign their more accurate pancake meter score.
Okay.
So first place, we have Andrew Doomring's team, the Vet, at 137 points. He's at 1 pancake. And for those who don't understand the pancake meter, everyone starts at 1.
Yeah.
And the pancakes refer to how afraid they are of landing in that pancake house. If you do well, your pancake meter is going to be a 1, a 2, or 3.
And you know what? I'd say even more than that, it's kind of hard to explain to just, an everydayer fantasy player,
Sure.
the way we put this together and the kind of statistics that go into it. But it's factoring odds, yes, but it's also, like you said, emotions. It's kind of like put it all together. This is your pancake score. It's a mix of what are the chances you're going to the pancake house, and fear does play a big part in it, as we know and we saw last year.
Yeah.
Because the player that was most fearful week one and throughout the entire year, they ended up eating it.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why we're doing this segment again every week, because it was so accurate last year.
yeah.
We want to give that resource to you guys.
Yeah. And I will be clear too, there is we are doing an owl-free season. There is no AI influence on our season. Jeff and I had a big discussion about that at the beginning of the year, and we said, are we going to use those kind of tools? And we decided, no, there will be no AI, no owl influence on this season. This is pure human intuition, and we got our spreadsheets and we're crunching the numbers ourselves, and we don't need a computer to tell us how to do that.
Yeah, we're going back to our human roots instead of, trying to look forward to our maybe AI future. We're going back to the roots.
And I think it's going to be a human future, actually.
And that's for all of us to find out.
But it's going to be a exciting season full of very accurate rankings and predictions. So without further ado, I'll let you continue the pancake meter.
First place, the Vet. He has a strong team, an elite team. He's sitting at 1 pancake. We're the best of the rest.
Yeah.
You deserve 1. Second place with the most points and the best win-loss record is the shoe-in, Braden. He's also sitting at just 1 pancake. Again, elite team. His bench is strong.
Good job. Snaps for those 2 teams.
Yeah. It seems like he's going to have a shoe-in for the playoffs. Third, Bare Necessities. He won his week, but he's at a 2. And the reason that he's at a 2 is because there's some warning signs on his team.
AJ Brown.
Who
he's going to have to drop shortly.
Probably. I think that was his second or third draft pick. But that is a big, scary red flag on that guy. That's why he's at the 2 pancake score. Fourth, the King, David. He's sitting at a 2 as well. He won his week, but his star tight end critically injured, Kittle, on IR. And he just did not inspire me with his performance of just 107 points for that win. He's out of 2. Last, in terms of the teams who have won their week, is the host, Jer.
Thank you.
You are at 2 pancakes.
Okay.
And I would maybe suggest a 3rd pancake. You had a minimal score.
Jeff,
and you got some injuries.
Did you hear anything I talked about earlier? Were you even listening? You have ears, but you don't hear, Jeff. I was pacing myself for the year, and I will continue to pace myself. And if I let you do this pancake score on your own this week, next week, I promise you guys, next week I will have a bigger part to play in this ranking, but I will let you continue.
6th place, the Prophet. Now we're getting to the teams that lost our week. The Prophet's only at 1 pancake. He had a ton of points, and he has a great team. 1 or 2 assets on his team underperformed, such as the defense. I don't think that's going to happen again. And he's got a great bench to pull from. But I'm wondering maybe he should go up to 2 pancakes. I think maybe he choked a little bit. But right now I have him listed as 1, so I'll leave it at 1.
Okay.
Drafted and betrayed. Or the rookie. The rook. 3 pancakes. Yeah, he got 119 points. 1 more point than me. However, I think the nerves are getting to him in a big way. And I think tasting that first loss in your first fantasy league ever,
that's scary.
I think he's scared, and I think he's already imagining what that punishment might look like for him.
What his toppings might be, so to speak.
Exactly.
And that's what I said. What goes back to what I said, Phil. Philip cannot overreact or underreact, and he can't let fear take hold.
8th place, it's me, the champ. I'm only at 1 pancake. A loss doesn't scare me. I know what it takes to win because I did win last year. I'm not afraid. I've got CMC on my team, and if you have CMC, you can't lose. So I'm confident. 9th place, Sip Safety, Mike and Crystal's team. They're at 2 pancakes. They have a decent team. I think they can bounce back. I believe they can bounce back. But next week is going to be telling. I think it's going to be telling for a lot of these teams because you always have, after the first week, well, maybe it was a fluke, whether you win or lose.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a fluke. After next week, now there's storylines.
Now it's a trend.
Now it's a trend. And I think that overreaction segment is going to be critical for you guys. So Sip Safety is only at a 2. But I anticipate these numbers jumping up for a bunch of teams after we see those trends, like you said.
And just like we saw last year, post week 2, we saw the biggest inflation of numbers that we'd seen season long. That's when the numbers start really bouncing around big time because we, like you said, we start seeing trends.
Mm-hmm. The Gambler, last place. He's only at a 2 as well. And some of you might be shocked. He had only 86 points on the week. Are you kidding me? But I think he actually has a strong team. There's just some players who underperformed.
He was resting starters, was what he was doing. Just call spade a spade.
And with the Gambler, you can't count him out.
No.
And I think what you said about him purposely tanking to get that first waiver wire pick, I think that's very possible. And maybe there's something he knows that we don't. But he's at a 2.
Yeah.
And that wraps up the pancake meter for this week.
All right. Up next, we got our match of the week. Jeff, you want to give us a primer at the match that we should all be looking at and all be watching for?
Yeah, and this is highly anticipated. You always want to be in that match of the week where everyone's watching.
It's coveted.
Because, you're watching your team, but you're also watching the match of the week.
Yeah.
And that honor goes to the Gambler versus the Prophet.
Yes.
Cam, last place, the least amount of points. I think this is where he bounces back. I think he's got something to say. And equally, I think the Prophet, was it a fluke? I bet he wants redemption at that win that was in his hands, but just slipped through his fingers. I think they both have a lot to say.
And we're going to be watching for, will the prophet turn the gambler's tables? Will he flip those money tables in that kind of with a righteous fury and take back his temple, so to speak?
Right.
Or is the gambler going to have his way and keep stacking up money, like we've seen him do in the past? Time will tell.
And this week's going to be interesting because one of those teams is going 0-2. And once you're 0-2, then the fear is really kicking in. And you start wondering, do I blow up my team and start all over?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's match of the week. Highly anticipated.
That wraps up what we got for you this week. I will say, everyone, please be diligent in checking the chat. We have regular updates in there, and especially when it comes to Thursday, you're going to want to dial in because the gambler will be putting in his picks for any money-making opportunities that you may be looking for. The gambler's going to have some picks in the chat. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think.
Yep.
It's not something that we always listen to, but we will consider it, and,
Everyone has a voice.
Yeah.
Not everyone has a vote.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep.
There's one vote in this league.
2.
One commissioner vote.
Are there 4 commissioners?
I am the commissioner, and I have a council of people speaking into my life. But in the end, the decision will be mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Well, thanks, guys, for listening. We want to hear from you, and we're excited for this next week of football.
Fins up.